Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez, sponsored by 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Never gets old, right?
Never.
Jim Mora making his annual appearance here on the show.
Oh, that is right.
What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando, alongside the one and only Art Edwards. How are you feeling this Sunday?
Man, I'm feeling good, especially after my Niners yesterday.
I know. You got to relax today.
Yes, I did.
You know why? Playoffs continue. So let's talk about it. They say it's tough to beat a team 3 times. Seattle Seahawks were hoping the third time's a charm. Underdogs against their rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. The Geno Smith to DK Metcalf connection was in full effect. DK caught 10 passes for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks had the Niners on upset alert. They were on top at the half. But here's the turning point. Came in the third quarter. A questionable call followed by that. The 49ers defense coming through with the fumble. And they made the Seahawks pay, scoring 25 unanswered. Quarterback Brock Purdy, no playoff experience, no problem.
No.
He had 4 touchdowns and his offense reeled off more than 500 yards. 49ers knock out the Seahawks 41-23. Seattle ends the year with 9 wins in a season that was supposed to be a rebuild.
The suddenness of this finish is just what's so striking right now, that we all of a sudden you're done. We weren't thinking that way. I mean, we were thinking something good was going to happen and we were going to knock these guys off and we were going to keep going.
All right, Art, how will you sum up the Seahawks season?
Way better than I thought it would be.
Man.
No doubt about that. I figured, they might be a 6-win team at best. Never thought playoffs.
After that Russell Wilson trade, all of us said, okay, let's start looking towards the future. But what a ride for this year's team. But now it's time to look ahead. And what about the quarterback situation, man?
Oh, yeah.
Will they sign Geno?
Well, I think they should. I don't think there's any question. They should sign him, give the man what he wants, what he deserves. He had a fantastic season.
All right, Art, well, we heard from him. Let's hear what Smith had to say.
I want to finish my career in Seattle. I want to be here. The town, the city, the team, Coach Carroll, the organization, they all embraced me. I was a guy who probably could have been out of the league. They embraced me, and I want to repay them for that.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to follow to see what they do.
Is.
But there's also the draft, and look at all those picks, including 2 first-rounders, starting with the 5th overall pick, thanks to, that trade we just talked about.
Oh, yeah.
So, Art, what would you like to see the Seahawks do here?
I'd like to see them trade out of that 5 spot, get more picks, and really kind of just shore up some things. I mean, I don't think they have a lot of weaknesses. They got a lot of young guys who played really well this year. But I think move down, get more picks, shore things up.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans are curious.
Oh, yeah.
Will they try and move up to pick up one of those 2 coveted quarterbacks?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to follow, but we're going to have to wait a while.
Oh, we are.
Because the draft isn't until April 27th, so we got a lot of time here to speculate about what they do, but man, they are on fire after the last draft. Let's see if the Seahawks can keep it going.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Art's going to be watching his Niners play football.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's switch gears. New York Giants in Minnesota for a date with the Vikings. Giants looking for their first playoff win in 11 years. Whew. Former Oregon State Beaver Isaiah Hodgins made an impact for the G-Men. Touchdown in the first quarter. He had 8 catches for 105 yards. This game went back and forth, but the Giants had just enough. Saquon Barkley calls game. Giants take out the Vikings 31-24. It was their first loss for Minnesota in 12 one-score games this year. My goodness.
Should have known it would happen.
Absolutely. You called it, man. So it'll be the Giants battling the Eagles in the second round. That's the late game Saturday. While the Cowboys and Bucks finish the first round tomorrow night. The winner faces off against Arts Niners Sunday afternoon.
Whew. All right, let's move on over to the AFC. The Buffalo Bills going against the Miami Dolphins for the third time this season. Saw that a lot in the playoffs this weekend. Miami going with a third-string quarterback, though. You know what, Dolphins, they had a lead, though, in the third quarter when Buffalo responded. Josh Allen to Cole Beasley. The guy was retired and came back for the playoffs. That put the Bills up by 3 points. They added to the lead with another Allen touchdown pass. They had a 10-point lead, so it really looked like they were in great shape. They were going to win this thing. But Miami tried to rally. They scored to make it a 3-point game, but the Bills were able to hold on to win it 34-31. Josh Allen threw for 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a couple of interceptions.
Well, Art, it was a wild one. Final playoff game of the day. You saw it right here on KGW. The Ravens were poised to take the lead in the fourth quarter when, oh man, Huntley fumbled on the goal line. And it fell right into the hands of Sam Hubbard. He's still running.
Took him a long time.
98 yards for the score. Longest fumble return in playoff history. It's also the winning score in the game. Cincinnati beats Baltimore 24-17 in dramatic fashion.
I wonder what his top-end speed was.
He was moving. I mean, what a heartbreaking play there for Baltimore. My goodness. Right into his hands.
Right there.
It's meant to be.
Yep.
All right, the AFC matchups are set. Jaguars, Chiefs, Saturday afternoon, 1:30, right here on KGW. It'll be the Bengals and Bills on Sunday. Remember, those teams were playing when Damar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest on the field. A lot of emotions.
Emotional one, yeah. Man.
Well, Art, we've got much more Sports Sunday still to come.
Yes, we do.
The Blazers and Mavericks square off for the second time in as many days. Could Portland get a repeat performance after a blowout victory Saturday? Plus, we're talking analytics. The Blazers guru of all things numbers tells us exactly what he does for Rip City. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of math involved. And the numbers give the Blazers lots of hope moving forward. And welcome back. The Portland Trail Blazers and Dallas Mavericks running it back at the Moda Center for the second straight night. But this time, the Mavericks gave Luka Doncic the night off. The Blazers got Nasir Little back in the lineup. He's been out since the end of November with a hip injury. Little had 10 points, 16 minutes of work, a much-needed boost to the team's depth. Meanwhile, it was another one of them nights for Damian Lillard. It was a 3-point game until he took over in the fourth quarter, dropped 11 points in the frame, helping the Blazers pull away from the Mavericks. Blazers win. Blazers win. 140-123. Lillard had 40 points, passing Dr. J, Tracy McGrady, Rick Barry?
Rick Barry.
He is now 72nd on the all-time scoring list in the NBA. Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic, Anthony Simons all dropped 20. Most impressive stat of the game, though? Blazers had just 7 turnovers.
Wow.
Something that's been a major problem for this team. After dropping 5 straight, they pick up back-to-back wins. They're now 21-22 on the season, 9th in the West. They'll visit Denver on Tuesday. Let's talk more about those Portland Trail Blazers, and joining us here on the show, Trailblazers analytics insider Corey Jez. Corey, welcome to the show, my man.
Orlando, thanks so much for having me. Great to be here. Great to be in Rip City for a nice little 3-game trip, 3-game homestand.
All right, well, maybe you're bringing a little luck their way as well because they could use it, man. But let's dive right in. First and foremost, like when I think of analytics insider, immediately I think about the meme from the movie Hangover where you see all the numbers popping up and everything. So can you just break down a little bit more about what your role is with the team?
Sure. So, I got my start in the NBA in a front office in 2017 with the Utah Jazz, and analytics, numbers, data is a bigger part of the sport. Everybody's seen and heard Moneyball. It's the easiest word to use to describe it all. But what it really means is there's so much more information now than there ever has been. The box score has been around since the 50s. But we have new technology that every team in the NBA is using, their front office, their coaching staff, to help them try to win basketball games.
So I'm curious if you could just give me an analytics starter kit. Where should we look?
Instead of talking about things on a per game basis, we talk about them on a per possession or per 100 possession basis. Folks who watch our broadcast will hear me talk about offensive rating and defensive rating and the net of those two metrics. And that does two things. One, it controls for that pace, because if you play Golden State, you're running up and down. If you play Dallas, you're not. So it controls for that and levels those things out. Another thing that does is controls for things like overtime. You know, we've seen Dame have 40 points and not even play the fourth quarter. We've seen Luka have 60, but he did it in double overtime. Well, he had about 25 more minutes to do that. And so we want to even those things out, because Dame should get a lot more credit when he has one of those nights where they play so well he doesn't even play in the fourth quarter.
I'm curious what you thought about the team when you got here versus where you're at now and what you're seeing in terms of trends.
I think one of the things that stands out to me from an advanced number standpoint recently is that over their last 21 games, they've been a +1 point differential per 100 possessions. So those two numbers we just talked about, they're a +1. That's to the positive. That's good. Over the same stretch, they're 8-13 win-loss record. Well, those things don't really add up. So what does that mean? The research shows us that point differential is more predictive of future success than just win-loss. And the reason for that is because winning games big is a lot better than winning games small. You know, good teams win close games. Great teams don't even play close games because they win by so much, a lot like the Blazers did last night against Luka and the Mavericks. And so that trend where the win-loss record, I expect to catch up to that point differential because they've already been a positive team, 12th ranked team over that second quarter. So you're looking at about top 6 in the West, which really is the goal to stay out of the play-in.
Corey, thank you so much for rocking with us, joining Sports Sunday. You can catch him on the Portland Trail Blazers broadcast every game. Welcome to Rip City, my man.
Thank you.
Man, I love those analytics. The Portland Timbers, they made their choice for general manager official. Team promoted Ned Grabavoy to GM. He's been with the club's front office since 2017. He's been serving as the team's interim general manager. Now, before that, he played 13 seasons in Major League Soccer, including one with the Timbers. Grabavoy is 39 years old. Hey, the Portland Thorns, they have a new head coach. Mike Norris was promoted from assistant coach to the top job. Players took to social media right after that announcement to show their support, calling him a great person and coach. The Newcastle, England native replaces Rhian Wilkinson. She resigned in December. And the NWSL held its draft last week. The Thorns had an early pick. They selected Reina Reyes out of Alabama with the fifth pick overall. She was the top defensive player in the SEC. Draft analysts complimented her versatility and her ability to play multiple positions. They said she's capable of making an immediate impact. Thorns picked a total of 4 players in that draft.
Oh, we're just warming up. We still got more Sports Sunday on deck. It was a crazy weekend when you're talking ball. We've got the best dunk of the weekend and the best three-point shot you've seen in a while.
Portland stays back in play. Rebound Woods. Parker will advance it. 2 to tie. 3 to win. Woods for the win. It's online.
Bang! 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 Take the L out of Lover. This game is over.
My goodness, it was a thriller on the park blocks. Hunter Woods' buzzer beater lifts Portland State to victory over Northern Arizona. Just an incredible finish from the Vikings and a great call from Matt Rickert and Devon Pouncey. That's your Toyota Sunday Sizzle.
Whew. Hey, the Oregon women's basketball team looking to finish the weekend sweep of the Washington teams today against Washington State. Ducks, hey, they had a battle on their hands. Oregon managed to get the game into overtime, but the Cougars got control of the extra period early. The Ducks did rally in overtime, as it turns out. Tahina Paopao with a three-pointer to pull the Ducks to within 1 point with 19 seconds left. Oregon got a steal, and they had one last chance. But Paopao's shot in the lane is off. Oregon falls to Washington State 85-84 the final. India Rogers, she led the Ducks at 33. Oregon plays Oregon State on Friday at Gill Coliseum. Hey, talking about those Oregon State women, they were hosting Washington today. The Huskies, they couldn't miss early in this game. They hit their first 9 shots and then got off to an early double-digit lead. The Beavers did fight their way back into the game, though. Talia von Oelhoffen, She led Oregon State with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Beavers still fell, though, to Washington, 79-67.
Art, is it cool if I quote Forrest Gump for this one?
Go for it.
All right, well, the Oregon men's basketball team, it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. Saturday, we got the good stuff.
Deliver that. And finally, Dante playing like Akeem Olajuwon.
Oh, Dante posterizes Kerr Kriisa. That'll get the crowd on its feet.
And Fale Dante with the dunk of the year for the Ducks, posterizing the defender. I mean, that man has a family. How are you going to do that to him? He told reporters it felt good to do that to someone he doesn't like.
What?
The Ducks beat 9th-ranked Arizona 87-68. Easily their best win of the season.
Oh, yeah.
We had some monster performances on the court for Friday Night Hoops. And there was none better than the one put in by Jesuits' Sophia Bell. The Oregon commit scored 23 in the first half against Mountainside. She finished with 36 points on 14 of 19 shooting. She outscored the Mavericks by herself. Final score of the game, 60-29. And here's your three-pointer of the weekend. Grant Adams getting his moment to shine for the Evergreen Plainsmen. Hey, that man has range. Grant has Down syndrome and has been the team's manager, working hard at practice every day. But on Friday, he showed he's also got game. The Plainsmen beat Battleground 71-67. You love to see it. It's week 3. Time to pick your game of the week. Crunch time is fast approaching in the Greater St. Helens League. The Evergreen girls host Heritage. The Sandy boys, red hot. They'll be put to the test against Gresham. And we've got a pair of big matchups in the Northwest Conference. The Putnam girls visit Canby, while LaSalle faces off with Wilsonville on the boys' side. Log on to kgw.com/GOW to vote. We'll announce the winner on Wednesday. You ready to put this show on ice?
Yes.
The Portland Winterhawks wrapped up their Eastern road trip against the Regina Pats on Saturday night. The Winterhawks lost 4-3, ended up 2-4 on the road trip. 3,000-mile road trip front back.
That's a lot of road.
My goodness, that's a lot of quality time on the
Look
bus.
at that.
Okay, so they're going to return home to the ice at Veterans Memorial Coliseum Friday night, and you're probably wondering, what is going on right there? Well, it's Where's Waldo night. And they're asking fans to dress appropriately. How cool is that?
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, right.
That's going to be so much fun.
I really hope a lot of people show out and dress up for it.
I hope so too.
Because I want to see the wide shot where we can like look around and say, wait, is that Waldo? No, there's Waldo. I love it.
If we didn't have high school basketball, I'd be there for that.
Yeah, no, you would. We'd be saying, where's Art Edwards, man?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Have a good night, everyone. Producer Craig, when the Cougs lose, you better be ready to pay up if we're doing this.
That's right.
Good night, everyone.